call the meeting to order. It's a special meeting. Have one agenda item. It's Declaration Order 20-03. Let the record show that we have a quorum. Everyone is present. And we will open the floor. You can see that Nick has been busy with whereasing.
That's on speaker. And he's on the phone if needed.
I think the bulk of what we're interested in is on page 2, which is the therefore be in order. I think this Nick's version of what we said we were, or what we discussed yesterday is possible. For the record, the Gulf County people, I spoke with all of their commissioners. I was advised by their chairman to do that, so that they didn't feel it was necessary to meet if there was enough of them that felt like it what we were trying to do, and there was we had a almost unanimous support. There was one that was somewhat concerned that that wouldn't work, but the other 4 were all very much in favor of us with these restrictions that I outlined to them. So when it says that Gulf County is favorable, that is a correct statement. I have a question about, under the therefore it be ordered, I think it needs to be clear what a fisherman can take to the beach. I don't think a fisherman needs to have any, it says equipment used for individual sports, including fishing. I think we get into an issue if we start saying, well, a fisherman needs a cooler. Fisherman needs a chair. A fisherman, it doesn't say that.
In the line below, it does exclude chairs.
Other sports equipment, well, it doesn't address fishing.
Yeah.
Darryl mentioned yesterday, the reason I raised this up, well, he's got his cart, and he can roll that down there with all the stuff on it. I don't think he should be allowed to do that. I think that presents a problem.
So limit the fishing equipment to just one rod.
Well, no, I'm open to suggestions, but
His equipment on it, you ought to at least allow a mistake. Unless he wants to hold it. A lot of guys take a couple of fishing poles, but I don't want to carry one way or the other. I think anybody that fishes will be happy to get out there, even if they can only carry 1 rod person. I would. And they should be able to understand if you say, well, look, nobody can even bring a chair, a tent, or a blanket, so, bring your fishing pole.
well, it just doesn't say that.
Mm-hmm.
And when you mentioned that about the cart, it started me thinking, I think it has to be clear. If you'll tell the guy he can't bring a chair, I think the fisherman can't bring his cart.
Well, we had a situation the other day where somebody took his kayak
And you would be able to take your kayak, launch it across.
Once you get it in here,
a
put it in
surfboard.
water.
Yeah. So do you just want to put including fishing with 1 rod only, or 2
Well,
rods
I
only?
don't know. I'm throwing that out to how everyone feels about what we're gonna get into if we aren't careful about defining what other equipment can they have.
Could we put, equipment used for individual active sports, including fishing, maybe brought to the beach, and then put, only minimum, or something minimum?
How about if you just add fishing carts under what's excluded?
Okay. So that on B, where it already says no chairs, tents, loungers, umbrellas, blankets, we would include fishing carts and coolers.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, if you start letting the cooler,
Yeah.
that's my opinion. If we're gonna try to keep it for what we're doing as exercise beats, then we gotta keep that stuff off, in my opinion.
Well, your car's gonna have to cool on.
No,
Not all of them. Some do, some don't, but I just think
But if we list the cooler as a separate item, just in case it is separate, and the cart.
I think beach
Exclude
carts
both.
slash coolers,
Yeah, and coolers.
What about gathering of people? Can a family come down?
Yeah. It says gathering of people is not permitted on the beach.
I read that. So more than one person is a gathering of people.
Originally, this was defined as a gathering of 10 people.
Right.
Well, then that tells you that you can get up to 9 people. What we're trying to do is avoid the gathering. If it's a family, it's a family unit. And it's just a family unit walking. We were trying to, again, we can beat this horse to the point where
I know, right.
everything, so I tried to make it as open a restriction as possible on the gathering. And if
Well,
we say
you-
family, all of a sudden somebody will have a 42-person family.
Yeah, that's right.
You can go, I mean, you could get really crazy about all the stuff you can put in there or not put in there. And, I mean, can't the lieutenant use his discretion?
that's what you gotta have some of that. in there.
Right.
I mean, we all know that, I think it's safe to say those that supported this, the intent is to give those that want to use it as an exercise beach an opportunity to do that.
Mhm.
And so, if we see that that's not happening, and people are trying to find a way to take what we say they can't do and figure out a way to do it, then we'll have to regroup. It's just, I mean, but I think Marty and his group, I've seen them use what I call discretion about,
Yeah, I don't
Hey.
think there's any question. that they do.
but I would like to add that because fishermen, I just thought that was a little too open-ended right there.
We'll have fishing carts and coolers as restrictions.
Okay? Questions?
I stopped fishing without fish cart, and I see what we're doing, but you won't, I stop fishing. You understand, when you go fishing, you got to have your bait and the little cart, I can.
Well, you put it in a bucket or something, but I mean, the cart's gonna be, to me, I'm not gonna be for it, cause I see that that's gonna lead to, well, they got stuff, we just got a blanket, come on.
Well, if we allow them to have a bucket, I mean, you could actually take your stuff in a bucket. It's not, it would be real nice. They're not gonna be able to bring chairs and all that coolers, so, you know, really the reason they wanna carry the cart, the reason I carry the cart is to put the cooler on more than anything. And the fact that I've got 4 or 5 rods and 2 chairs.
I think fishermen will adapt, they're fishermen, they'll find a way to go down there and fish and.
Well, I think if Bo wants to fish in the morning from the beach, he'll carry a bucket down there and be pretty happy he got to fish. That's what I think. I agree with you though, it would be nice if they could carry it down there, but I also agree with him that it looks like there's too much, you're allowing fishermen a lot more stuff than you are other people. So anyhow, I mean, but maybe,
With your no carts, just the cart thing is the only thing I like. But the cooler part, I don't think you should, I think you're getting there with the cooler and the chair, no chairs, I think a fishing cart. But Shaggy, but I am a fisherman too, so I do adapt, I reckon put it in a 5-gallon bucket. But this will stop, the fishing most of it. Just to come fishing. But I think that'll work.
We don't have, I just said that's what I think. I just,
well, if you didn't say that and you just said no coolers,
Or says that.
that's
Yeah,
it.
tent, line, yeah.
doesn't say coolers.
Let's say coolers.
Well, that's good, you will. I just know when you see people fishing on the beach, most of them have that little cart. I don't fish off the beach, I don't.
I bought one so I can take my stuff down there. But again, the reason I take it down there is because Lucretia fixes something to eat and get drinks and, all
Well, I
that.
really just go fishing, that's all. I just,
Yeah, I'm looking at them, waiting for them to.
Okay, so the question is, it seems, is the card in or the card out? For me, it's out.
for me, it's in.
I'd say in, just no cooler, and then that pretty much limits it to, because I don't really, That's equipment, that's his fishing equipment, that's, he carries his stuff down there in his tackle bag. You know, you could carry it in a bucket, yeah, you could, but
Are you in or out on the call?
I'm thinking right now,
Okay.
both ways, both.
Jerry, what about you? You got an opinion?
No, I'm going
Okay.
against it to begin with.
The problem I feel like I have, if you allow the cart, somebody's gonna try to get something else. Somebody's gonna try to take your kayak down, somebody's gonna try to take, poles.
well, they take the kayak, yeah.
You carry the cart too, you carry a lot more equipment with you.
Well, they carry.
So I guess I'm out.
They can carry a kayak though, right?
Yes.
Yeah, you can carry a kayak, and don't during this time frame, you go
Yeah.
water with it, that's what.
Okay.
Alright, so,
The more equipment, more stuff, the more you can carry down, if you have a cart, you can carry more stuff down there, which is gonna end up being a problem. So I'm out.
Yeah, I think it's no cards, that's what it
no,
is. It eliminates a lot of
So
stuff.
right now, what Nick has modified is under A, where it says including fishing, he's got poles and tackle for that component. And then under B, where the exclusions are, he's got the word carts, comma, coolers, comma, and planes.
Okay.
alright, feelings on those additions? Good,
Good.
good. Okay, the only thing we need is, it says immediate, so what, do we just say, if we're assuming this goes through, we say like in the morning, is that immediate? All right, Chair, will entertain a motion to, is there anything else before we get to, or as far as the discussion of any item on here? As far as under the,
Looks like Nick done pretty good on it. Or Mario.
It was a team effort. Lindsay, it was the group that, made the initial thought, so it's a big effort.
Okay.
all right, Chair, will entertain a motion or discussion for acceptance of declaration order 20-03.
I make a motion, we accept declaration order 20-03.
Second.
We have a motion second. Any other questions from the table? Call the roll, please, Lindsay.
Mayor Kathy,
Yes.
Mr. Pollock,
Yes.
Mr. Key,
Yes.
Mr. Wallace,
No,
Mr. Smith,
Yeah.
Okay. Motion for adjournment.
don't move.
Move.